Hello, welcome to the 13th episode of my podcast, Open Conversation. I'm your host, Bella. Um, today we're gonna be talking about the NBA, this week's the first round of the NBA playoffs. I'm gonna give my own, obviously reactions and perspective on this week, and so just gonna get right into it to the first topic, obviously. Um, First reaction to first round of NBA playoffs. It's been pretty exciting. All the games been pretty exciting. Got some pretty good matchups in terms of the teams, the competition. Every team has like you know star players um and are fortunately healthy to play. I think Giannis had some injury, but it's got the I think he should be good to play in the next game from the reports I'm hearing. So I think the only Paul George isn't playing for the first round for the Clippers. Um, and obviously, Ja had the injury, um, but he played the first round, so obviously that's going to be impactful for the Memphis Grizzlies. But obviously for the first game, everybody the stars was healthy at least. But obviously it was some good games. Starting with the Eastern Conference with Milwaukee and Miami. Uh, Miami won the first game. Jimmy Butler really showed up. He had about 35. Um, they Miami. I think they got one. They came and showed up to play hard. I don't think that they're gonna end up winning the series. I think um, they got a good one. They are a competitive team, but um, I don't think that they will win the series. I think the Milwaukee will beat them. I think they'll end up getting the next four. Potentially, Miami might get another one, type of thing. I think also um, Hero got hurt in the game, and so but he messed his hand up. So obviously that's going to be impactful for Miami. He's their third leading scorer on their team. Um, I do think that Spoelstra is doing his team a disservice with giving Victor Oladipo DMPs. I definitely think he should be playing um, and giving minutes and contributing. I think he should definitely be playing. But hey, I'm not the coach. But I think obviously obviously with Giannis being healthy coming back, they should end up um, winning that game probably within 5 or 6 games. That's just my opinion. Got Cleveland and New York. New York took the game one. Um, that's definitely a nice matchup in between these two teams, between Cleveland and New York. Uh, I think Jalen Brunson, he definitely had a great game. Um, Randall, they definitely um, showed up, and Donovan Mitchell didn't have. I don't know specifically his stat line, but I don't think he had too much of a great game for game one. Definitely, he's going to show up for them throughout the series. Definitely banking on him and Garland to be, probably the anchors for that, for that Cleveland team and their success. Then you got the Philadelphia and the Brooklyn. Um, Philadelphia won last night to take the series 2-0 against Brooklyn. Um, you know, I think that they'll end up, this is definitely a, a team, probably expecting, Philly to come out and win this series. And yeah, the next one you got Boston, Atlanta. Boston took game one. Uh, it was a good team effort for Boston to win that game. I don't think, I'm not too aware of the star stat lines between Young and DeJounte, but if they want to have a chance with them, they gotta uh, play like super duper stars. DeJounte and Trey Young, they really gotta elevate their game to a way higher level. They great young players, but to me, if they really want to have a chance against these guys, they gotta really elevate their game. Get into the Western Conference. You got Denver and Minnesota. Denver took game one. Uh, I think Denver, that their team was clicking. All their guys showed up. The thing with Denver is kind of like similar to like Dirk, that like Dallas, how Dallas Dirk was with Dallas, where you had like your cornerstone superstar in Dirk, and obviously with Denver you have the Joker, and then you have a bunch of other good players around you who complement, and they just kind of like as a team are a good team. So they played well. Um, Minnesota is going to definitely need more from Carl Towns and Edwards. That those are the star guys. They definitely gonna need more productivity from them if they want to have a chance uh, against Denver, which I believe they can. They're great young talented players. So I'm looking for them to step up in the next game. Then we got Phoenix Suns and the LA Clippers. The LA Clippers took game one. Uh, Kawhi had a really great game. Um, Russ had a very not very efficient in terms of shooting percentages, but in terms of defense, rebounding, energy, he was great. Had close to a triple double. Uh, he was impactful and effective in the game. KD played well, he did his thing, but it's gonna need more productivity from CP and DeAndre Ayton, and really some of the bench guys. They're gonna need that. I think KD and Book. They're gonna come every game and do their thing, and they just need those other guys to really help them out. So the next series you got Sacramento Golden State. Sacramento is leading currently 2-0 in terms of the series. They won last night. Been a very 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 electrifying series thus far between two games. Both teams playing really hard. Great offensive teams. Just great, just all around, and just scoring, and you know, just a really high energy series to me. And so, yeah, it's definitely entertaining series. And then last series out, you got Memphis and the LA Lakers. LA Lakers took game one. Um, very you know, a lot of adrenaline. It seemed like was in that game. Had the injuries with AD and Ja, and lead changes, and you know Memphis is like a young, competitive, not backing down from anybody. So um, you like what Memphis Grizzlies, at least I like what they have to bring, what they bring to the table, quote unquote. They remind me of like a modern day Detroit Pistons in the 88, 89, the bad, like a modern day bad boy Pistons in some sense. They got a lot of talent though. Like they I think when it comes to Memphis, it's like people just want to attack their experience, their level of experience in terms of playoffs and stuff like that. But you can't get to the highest levels without the type of mentality that these guys have. You know what I mean? Despite their lack of playoff experience and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? If they want to get to the NBA Finals and win championships, they kind of have to have that mentality that they have, where they're kind of like you know have like an overachiever, or like we that we're not backing down from anybody mentality. um I like, I embrace it. It seems like a lot of people don't like it. I mean, they do talk trash. That's part of the game. um so long as it doesn't get like a personal attack, but just you know talking about one's game. It's they, obviously the Lakers, they, Bron and AD and Austin Reeves stepped up, had 23. Rui Hachimura had 29. If they want to have success in the playoffs, they're gonna need production from these, the role players. They definitely stepped up during this game. They're gonna need, like I said, they're gonna need that throughout the playoffs. The role players giving guys like Bron and AD a break a little bit, to win in the playoffs. In my opinion, from what I've seen, you're gonna need those role players to win a game for you in some sense. Obviously, got the superstars, they do their thing, but there's gonna come a time where you're gonna get like some 25, 30 point game randomly from one of the role players who just had it going one night. So you're gonna need that, and you got guys like Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, who showed up. Dennis Schroeder can go off. Who knows? D'Lo can go off. Who knows? Like they got guys who can just go off. So yeah, it's got a great series. You know, good series. Next, next topic. My perspective on the Draymond and Sabonis fouls. So, you know, it's from last night. Obviously very controversial. People talking about it all throughout. About the their perspective on the situation and stuff like that. I'm gonna just give my own perspective, obviously, as I said, with no biasness, strictly objectivity. Um, I think, obviously, like I said, I think it's fouls. Sabonis um, initiated the foul with, in my opinion, with the grabbing of Draymond's leg, um, and then Draymond in return, stomped on the chest of Sabonis. Um, both fouls, you want to call, both fouls, in my opinion. But I don't think Draymond, just my opinion, no biasness, no, because we sparring without nothing, but just my objective opinion. I don't think necessarily Draymond should have been ejected. I think it should have been called as flagrant fouls. I think that would have sufficed for me. But I don't think he should have been ejected. And the reason why I say he shouldn't have been ejected, um, when you take into consideration the position he was in terms of that Sabonis put Draymond in terms of holding his leg, Draymond couldn't do but so much in terms of moving his body because Sabonis was holding his leg, he's trying to move forward to get on defense because that's they're playing a game. He's trying to get back on defense, but Sabonis is holding his leg. So how can he move forward? Without either he's gonna try to overstep his leg to where if he oversteps too far, he can fall on his butt and he can fall probably fully on Sabonis if he overextends his leg. But being that um, Sabonis was holding his leg, he couldn't, you know what I'm saying? He had, in order for him to not fall down or to, mess himself up, he unfortunately had to step on him. You know what I mean? Like, I understand. I have two eyes. I see, it looked bad. It did look bad. It looked bad. You know what I mean? For him, you see Draymond stepping on. But at the same time, you have to consider the situation and position Draymond was in. He was either gonna fall in his butt or he was gonna he's holding his leg. He's gonna have to step on because that's closest to ground. You know what I'm saying? He's and so again, everybody's gonna have their perspective and opinion. I get it. You know what I mean? But I don't think Sabonis put him in the best positions. People want to say, "Oh, Draymond had to track," whatever with fouls or he's dirty play, whatever. That's people's opinion. But I'm just speaking on this specific situation right here, not trying to bring things from the past and trying to now. Speaking of this specific situation, you know, you have to consider, Draymond's ability, the, his options. And that to me, I mean, if it was the situation, if I had options of either I overextend my leg and uh, fall on my butt, or this guy's holding my leg. The only way I can have ground is if I step down, and unfortunately his chest is in the way. I'll do that. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You know what I mean? But again, it looks bad or look bad. It looked bad, but I take into consideration the position Draymond was in. So that's just my opinion. Next topic. Favorite first round matchups. Um, starting with the West. I really interested in that Clippers, Clippers and Suns matchup. That 4-5 matchup over there in the West. Um, this is like a potential, Western Conference kind of matchup. You know what I mean? This is something that, considering the players on each teams, this is a potential in my, could have been Western Conference matchup. And you got superstars on both teams. You got in Phoenix, KD, Book, CP, and Clippers, Kawhi. Unfortunately, Paul George isn't healthy to play. Russ, um, and so um, you know, great players on each team, veterans, all looking to win championships, um, and so it's going to be a competitive matchup. I think it's a matchup that's going to go likely 6 to 7 games. I definitely don't think it's about to be no gentleman sweep or sweep in general. I think it goes 6 to 7 games. Um, and then next, the other matchup that I really like is that Sacramento and Golden State. Um, High energy between the two teams. Um, Great offensive basketball teams. Great point guards on both teams. Good coaching. Um, you know, I think the energy that's in that Sacramento Kings arena is unlike anything I've seen within the past. Because it's been, I think the last time they won a first round game or something like 17 years. But I have not, the energy in that arena is unlike what I've seen in a quite some time when it comes to the Sacramento Kings. They look like they got some fountain of youth in there. They got something that, special potentially. This is a team that, most didn't expect to be in the position that they're in, but they are there nonetheless. So, um, Golden State, the defending champs, they're never going to be a easy outing. You know what I'm saying? You got Steph Curry, Clay, Draymond, Poole, um, those Andrew Wiggins. They got some they got guys who gonna come ready to play, and so yeah, that's a matchup that I'm very um, closely watching and interested in. Then the next one, another from the West, the Memphis Grizzlies and the Lakers. Definitely, them two teams is superstars. LeBron, AD, got Ja, Jaren Jackson. Um, these guys. You hopefully, Ja, because he got injured, he can be healthy to come back for the series. But you know, you really, I really like the play of these two teams. Lakers have definitely turned things around in the recent month or two into transforming their squad. Memphis has they really started out the year really hot, had some little just some in the recent months some challenging situations occur, but I think for them I think for the Memphis Grizzlies, the thing that they really need to take into consideration this postseason is just being a team of resiliency, a team showing that they're a team that can overcome. You know what I mean? Overcome the bumps on the road, the challenges, they got to do that. That's part of building that championship pedigree, and so they really need to show and prove that with this playoffs. And then going to the East, matchup that I'm very that I really like is the Knicks and the Cavs. Um, that 4-5 matchup. They I think both teams are very closely and evenly matched in terms of talent. Knicks, Jalen Brunson been going crazy. Just been doing numbers in the recent times. Really has elevated his play. He had a good, the whole year he's been playing well. Should have been an all-star, so to speak. But I think in the past month or two, he has elevated his game even more. And then we got R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle. Julius Randle been balling, um, doing his thing. Had a great year, averaged 25 and 10. Emmanuel quickly, like they the Knicks got a nice squad, and the Cavs with Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and Karis LeVert, Jared Allen. They got a really good team, and so both teams are young, and I think it's one of them things where we're going to be able to really see what these two teams are made of, and kind of have an outlook of the kind of the where they're in the future, where these two teams are going to be in the future. Because like I said, these are two teams that I think are closely in terms of talent level. They're very evenly matched at this standpoint, and it's going to be interesting to see, like I said, moving forward, where these two teams are moving forward. So yeah, those that's to conclude my favorite first round matchups. Next topic. Most likely to be upset in the first round. My team that's most likely to be upset in the first round would be the Lakers being the Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously, the Grizzlies are the 2 seed. Lakers are the 7 seed. Like I said, the Lakers have definitely made a resurgence in the past month or two. Grizzlies have had some challenges in recent times. Steven Adams isn't playing in the series. Brandon Clark isn't playing in the series, and potentially John Morant may not be playing in the series. So, that definitely puts them at a big disadvantage. And so I think Lakers have just really been playing with a newfound energy, and they have a lot of momentum currently, and I think they have a really good chance of winning this series with the way that the energy they're playing in, and so that would be my pick and choice if I had to say for an upset. Next up, my favorite matchup in the first round. Um, it would definitely have to be De'Aaron Fox and Stephen Curry. Um, Two great point guards. Um, Obviously Steph MVP. Just debatably the best point guard currently in the league. And then you have here one of the young all players, young point guard, and De'Aaron Fox, who is going to be, and at some point in time, you're gonna maybe talking to Bailey, maybe he's the best point guard in future times. They both De'Aaron has had um, showed up big time in the first two games. Uh, First game he had 38, and Steph had 30 the first game. Um, but I think De'Aaron definitely had the better game in the first game. He had a pretty solid game in game two with 24 and 9 assists. Um, and Steph played well as well. Um, you know, De'Aaron talked about it, in a press conference in terms of guarding Steph Curry and how tiresome it is because Steph he works very well off the ball. Um, so running around the court, having to chase Steph, is he mentioned it's just a super challenge, and then it's obviously got to be challenging for Steph Curry to guard a player like De'Aaron Fox, who's just super quick and super fast, super good in the open court, can get past you, can shoot, can play not just below the rim but above as well. So De'Aaron's he's definitely a tough outing, and I think this is an opportunity for De'Aaron to really elevate his game. Facing Steph Curry in this round. He can definitely elevate his game and show and prove he's one of the top point guards in the league. So that's just the matchup that I'm closely paying attention to, and I think is pretty exciting in my opinion. So yeah, that's the topic. My picks to go to the second round. So between the Bucks and Miami, I would definitely have to go with Milwaukee. I'm gonna say that they beat Miami. They take the next four games, or Miami takes one and Milwaukee wins in six. Um, when it comes to Cleveland and New York, like I said, closely, evenly match up teams in terms of talent, but I just think that um, the Knicks I think the Knicks are gonna advance. I think Jalen Brunson is really just gonna have a great series. Julius Randle as well. I think they're just, you know, you know, Donovan Mitchell's gonna do his thing. Darius Garland do his thing, but I just think it's not gonna be enough for what New York has. I think New York too has a better bench than Cleveland. Um, but yeah, I just think the Knicks are going to win that series. Then you have Philly and Brooklyn. Uh, I think that Brooklyn. I said Brooklyn. I think Philly wins this series in a sweep. I honestly think that Philly's going to sweep Brooklyn. Um, no no disrespect, but I think they're going to sweep Brooklyn. Brooklyn will be lucky if they, get one game. I just don't think this is a favorable matchup for Brooklyn. Um, but you know, they have some bright spots to, take to look for. The player Mikal Bridges, and him showing that he can be a potential, you know, go-to guy offensively. On a franchise. Spencer Dinwiddie and Cam Thomas. They got some pieces. But I just don't think they. I think Philly sweeps them. Then next, Boston and Atlanta. Um, I think this too will likely be a sweep, but you know, I think Trey Young and Dejounte can win a game. I think they can win a game. You know what I'm saying? With the play of them, they can just win a take over a game and maybe win one, but ultimately I think they get swept or it's a 4-1 type of series. Next, Denver and Minnesota. Um, I think uh, I think this ends up in a sweep too. I just don't think this is a favorable matchup for Minnesota. Um, I just don't think they have enough. Um, they'll be fortunate to win one game, but that would be due to Anthony Edwards or Carl Towns having one of those, having a monstrous game or having a really good game. But I just think that Denver's just gonna sweep them, or like or take win it in 5 games at best. Then you got Phoenix and the LA Clippers. I believe that Phoenix will advance. Um, I think the Clippers not having Paul George is a big loss for them. Um, you know, I don't think that they'll have enough to match with the play of KD and Book. Um, ultimately, with Kawhi and Russ, but I just don't think they can amount to what Phoenix has on their squad. You know what I'm saying? I do think this series goes to 6 or 7 games. Though I do think it goes to 6 or 7 games, but um, I don't think. I think Phoenix wins. I think Phoenix wins this series. Um, Next would be Sacramento, Sacramento Kings and Golden State Warriors. Um, you know, I ain't gonna lie. Initially I thought um, Golden State was gonna win this series, but I've seen last night Sacramento has, they're up 2 games to 0. Um, I think that I think that Sacramento advances. I think the energy that they're playing with and the momentum that they're playing with, the crowd, the arena, like that the arena, the fans, the energy the fans are bringing to the arena is is crucial. Like it's very infectious from what I'm seeing, and I think that that energy is going to be what um, allows them to potentially prevail. I do believe this series goes to 7. It goes to Sacramento, and I think Sacramento wins it in 7. Um, maybe 6, but I do think this series goes to 7 though, and I think Sacramento can prevail. But to me, this is probably the most challenging matchup. I do think obviously this is the Golden State Warriors we're talking about, defending champs. They have extreme playoff experience, so again they can come back. I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors won um, this series. Like I said before the 2-0 lead, I had Golden State winning the series, but the 2-0 lead I think definitely gives Sacramento a big advantage, confidence, and yeah. So I'm going with the Warriors. I mean the Kings to advance. But it's gonna be a tough series, like I said. Then lastly with Memphis and the Lakers. Um, I if Ja is not there, um, I got the Lakers winning this in 5 games. Five. Yeah, I think they can win it in 5 if Ja there. If Ja is there, I think still the Lakers can will win the series either in 6 or 7 games. I just think the Memphis, Jaren Jackson, he's been playing. He played a great game. He had a great game one. I don't know if he's going to be able to sustain AD in the post throughout the series. And then obviously, I don't think Memphis really has an answer for LeBron. LeBron had a very, for LeBron standards, subpar game for game one. Um, but you definitely expect Bron to have better games, throughout the series. But game one he had 21 points. Um, but you think about 5 assists or something like that. For anyone else, that's really good. But like I said, for LeBron standards, it's not LeBron like. We're expecting 27, 7, 7, right, on average. Likely, playoffs 30, something like that. But yeah, and then with the momentum of the role players like Austin Reeves, who's getting the opportunity to really show himself, his play in the playoffs and gain that confidence, and Rui Hachimura and Schroeder, um, these guys, D'Lo. Um, this is very pivotal for them. Very, 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 very pivotal for them. And I think that these guys are gonna show up, and I think, like I said, I think I got the Lakers advancing against Memphis. That's how I think. Players with the most to gain in terms of legacy slash resume. So, a lot of times when it comes to these kind of topics, kind of what I'm about to get into, they like to speak on like more so what players have to lose and putting pressure on people's play. But you know, I would like to just change the lens and more so focus on the positive aspect of it and say, what these guys have to gain. In terms of their resume, they've already have established Hall of Fame careers, um, known in the league in terms of their play um, throughout their career. But obviously, it's the playoffs. They're competitors. They want to win. They want to win championships, and so that's why they're still playing. So to me, you look at guys like CP3, obviously, all-time great Hall of Famer. Um, he's you know getting to his 20th season, and he went to his first finals about 2 years ago, and you know he's reached all the individual accolades and things of that nature, and you know obviously winning the championship would definitely um, add to his decorated career and resume as an NBA player. So, you know, um, him being able to win a championship with the Phoenix Suns would definitely help just kind of just definitely build that resume. His resume. It would you know give him bump him in the all time great in terms of his position. Where we put in CP3 in the all time greats and point guard, but just overall player. You know what I mean? And so winning championship would definitely help boost his career. Then you talking about guys like Russell Westbrook, another guy, MVP of the league one year, achieved, three-time triple double, averaging triple double, all star. He's achieved, established career. The guys in the league know what Russell Westbrook is about. The media is going to have their narrative regardless, but anybody who's really about this game of basketball, understands it's about what goes on between the lines, not what you know people are talking about and having their opinions. People gonna have their opinions, but you know what happens when you lace them up. So Westbrook, you know, it would definitely, again, he wins a championship. Where do you stack Westbrook in the all-time, you know, greats at his position and that as an overall player? You know what I mean? So he's another guy who can gain a lot in terms of his legacy and resume by winning the championship. Then you're talking about James Harden, you know, another guy who then achieved, scoring champion, assist champion, multiple All Stars, MVP, achieved, all NBA, they achieved, all the highest. That was an individual kind of accolades, and you know, getting that NBA championship would just be that super icing on the cake in terms of his resume and his legacy as an NBA player. It would definitely help him when we talk about where James Harden is on the all-time great at his position and as a player. And then lastly, I'm gonna have to say um, KD. Uh, you know, he's already of the three guys I mentioned. Um, he's out. He's already won championship. He already won two championships. He's been MVP, All Star, all the major leg. He's already done it. But same time, an added championship for KD would just, you know, really be helpful to, the resume, the legacy, however you want to say it, um, in terms of the all-time greats. KD's really, really, not just, you talking about of all like all time. He's in that top 10, list type of player, So, you know, an added chip, a third championship with, without, showing he's done, without Steph and Clay and Draymond, him doing it again with another franchise would definitely help, the resume in my opinion. Um, it would definitely elevate his status on the all-time great list. And so, um, yeah, man, just I think these guys got a lot to gain, man, and that's why they're still playing, man. So kudos to all these guys, man. Yeah. Um, teams with the hardest slash easiest path to the finals. So, you know, in my opinion, you look at the Eastern Conference, you got Milwaukee, um, facing Miami. Milwaukee the first seed, Miami the eighth seed. Um, we're likely think, Milwaukee advances. In that second round, they're facing between Cleveland and New York. Um, and then, they get to the Eastern Conference, um, which, in my opinion, is the easiest way, in the Eastern Conference to get to the finals. Then you have um, Philly. Obviously they're playing Brooklyn, and then Boston's playing Atlanta right now. And so, assuming, we're likely assuming that, the Sixers and the Boston advances, and Philly and the Sixers will likely match in the second round, right? That's a potential Eastern Conference Finals matchup, but that's being faced in the second round. So they have to go through, that in the second round, and then they'll likely the winner of the Sixers and the Celtics will likely face the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. So the Boston and Philly have in my opinion, a tougher route to get to the finals um, than Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee has an easier path. You know what I mean? They're not gonna meet their first, really, really, really competitive matchup until the Eastern Conference and then the NBA Finals. So yeah, I think that's how that goes. Then in the Western Conference, um, you got Denver and Minnesota. Then we got Phoenix and LA. And I think, obviously, even with when you're talking about Phoenix and LA, you know, they're those two teams I believe have the hardest matchup because that first round matchup in of itself could potentially, if depending on how the seeding had been, could have been a Western Conference matchup. Um, but they're facing that in the first round, and the winner of that is going to have to play the first seed. Denver is likely going to win against Timberwolves, so that the winner of the Phoenix and the Clippers is likely going to have to play Denver. And that's not going to be an easy matchup, but that's going to be your second round matchup. And so, you know, the winner of that is going to have to face, uh, you know, between, you know, the Lakers, Memphis, Golden State, and Sacramento. So, to me, Phoenix and LA have the hardest way to get to the finals. Now, I think the Lakers have the most favorable way to get to the finals. They're currently playing a banged up Grizzlies team in the first round. So, like I said, I think LA advances. And then they face the winner of Sacramento and Golden State. Sacramento is a young team, not all too experienced in the playoffs. LA Lakers have experienced players who have experience in the playoffs and have not only experienced but have won a championship. Um, so that gives them a favorable advantage, I believe, against Sacramento. Or if they play Golden State, um, who matches up with AD, um, who matches up with LeBron. So I think um, between the Lakers and Golden State, I think the Lakers could win that. So the Lakers won't face their they'll face their most competitive matchup, in my opinion, in the Western Conference Finals. When you're talking about likely the winners between Phoenix, the Clippers, or Denver. That's who they will likely have to face in the Western Conference. So, in my humble opinion, I think the Lakers have the easiest path to get to the finals in the West. But um, Phoenix and the Clippers have a pretty tough road. Um, Denver doesn't really get challenging for Denver until the second round because they're gonna face the winner of Phoenix and the Clippers, and then face who's in the Western Conference Finals. But so yeah, man, that's my opinion um, on who I think has the easiest and the hardest path to the finals. So yeah, that sums up this today's episode, discussing the first round of the NBA playoffs, and obviously gonna keep giving keep y'all informed on you know the playoffs as we continue, and as it continues, and teams advance. I'm gonna continue giving my report and perspective on the playoffs. So until then, see y'all later.